Hi, welcome again to Bible Book Club. I just realized that there were a few things in the video about Deuteronomy that I forgot to mention, some of the observations that I had. And so one of them was that the laws of war are quite a bit different from the exemptions that we have for people going to war nowadays as they were back in Moses' time, which is interesting to me because I understand that a lot of our law here in the U.S. is based on Mosaic law, and there's a lot of overlapping and similarities in the two. So one of the things that Mosaic law required is that a person who had just gotten married or just purchased land or things like that were exempted, or even if they were just afraid, they were exempted from war. So I'm just kind of curious why it is that in our country, while many of our laws are based on the Mosaic law, that these are not reflected in it. So to us, it would seem like, would you really exempt somebody from war just because they just got married or just bought some property? And back then it was, there were probably some really good reasons. Probably, I guess I won't even speculate on what those reasons are, but I found it very interesting. Another thing that I found interesting was in chapter 24, where it talks about the punishment that's required, or within punishment. One of the things that was required was this consideration for human dignity, that they wouldn't allow more than 40 lashes. And I think that we've even gone probably more to the extreme in our country of protecting human dignity than what was known back then. And probably most of the countries had punishments that did not take into consideration human dignity, where here in the United States we're very careful about that. In our prison and jail systems, there's laws to protect the prisoners from being treated inhumanely and things like that. But even back then, to say that there's a limit and you can't whip a man, beat a man more than 40 times, because then it will denigrate him in your eyes. And so that what they're saying is if the punishment is too severe, what's going to happen is that you're going to think of that person no longer as a human being, but as an object. And that God was clear to Moses that was not allowed, that you had to treat everybody as if they were humans, even if they were a criminal who was deserving of punishment. Another thing is chapter 30, where it talks about God is